The difficulties of crafting an interactive, compelling narrative in 2017 seem almost insurmountable. Diverting economic forces are demanding that every game have recurrent consumer spending opportunities and that real-time sync on creating an open world that works with a narrative focus. The completely out-of-touch powers that be at EA think that linear games are a thing of the past. I'm Andy Burkowski, and today I want to talk about why linear games are so important in 2017. EA this week continues to advocate very hard for the dubious honor of worst company in America, as it was revealed the corporation is still looking to loot boxes to fill their coffers. The excuses peddled by that pedantic CEO Andrew Wilson are that the cosmetic loot box model would hurt the Star Wars brands. Think of things like dancing pink Darth Vaders and thus upsetting Disney. Although it looks like that already happened. The game manufacturer's stock evaluation fluctuated up to $3 billion thanks to the Star Wars Battlefront 2 fiasco. You think after all this damage done to their corporate credibility, they would stop there. Enter stage left, EA CFO Blake Jorgensen. At the Critic Technology Media Telecom Conference this week, Jorgensen responded to the unfortunate closure of Visceral Studios and the Star Wars game that was in production, saying, "As we kept reviewing the game, it continued to look like a much more linear game, which people don't like as much today as they did 5 years ago or 10 years ago." Continuing direct from the GameSpot article, EA ultimately decided to close Visceral and significantly shift the nature of the Star Wars game because it was an economic decision at the end of the day. Jorgensen thought about how many copies the game would have to sell, and he determined that EA wouldn't be able to reach that unspecified mark. You gotta cut the bridge when you realize you can't make a lot of money on something, Jorgensen said through his vampire teeth. Now that's a bit of a commentary there. Now, before you spit direct vitriol in the face of Jorgensen, this fundamental shift in the marketplace, as he puts it, got me thinking, when did the idea of linear games become a bad word? I remember navigating the labyrinthian tunnels of Bioshock while grappling with the questions of personal identity, a linear game, the effusive irreverency of jumping through progressively complex portals while escaping your doom in Portal, a linear experience, how every major Uncharted set piece that came crashing down around us over the last decade was a linear game. The creation of stories without a reliance on narrative arcs can be almost impossible and usually fall flat in some way. Now, some open world games can do this seamlessly, making that additional content, the main narrative, and even your basic interaction with the world work towards a single beautiful goal. Many more, though, fall flat. As CFO, Jorgensen's job is to look at the art form in dollars and cents, but one of the most revealing things he said really shows where EA seals the meal ticket for the next 20 years. Jorgensen described Visceral as a subscale studio, only employing 80 people, yet trying to make a game. This is the same studio that for years made the heart-pounding, knuckle-whitening terror fest that is the Dead Space origins. Now, these huge open-world games that are living and breathing take hundreds of people thousands of hours to create, with budgets that mirror major motion pictures. You read the words that Jorgensen said, he sounds like a movie executive making decisions about the over-under of a movie not making $100 million and thus being a failure. The conflation of vision has to occur when you're making games or movies or any sort of art in this factory. You work tirelessly just to make sure that these jumbles of parts and pieces function, let alone that they work together. Experiences that stick with you in this increasingly competitive marketplace are ones that have vision, that seem to coalesce in that almost magical way. A story is told by the character speaking, the sound of the weapon firing, the message scrolled haphazardly across the wall. That perfect marriage between form and function is a truly beautiful thing, and it happens most often and most effectively in that bad word, linear games. Now please show that you want to experience those perfect games again instead of picking up one of the latest AAA blockbusters of 2017. Enjoy these games. If you've played them once before, play them again. If not, try them for the very first time and show people like Jorgensen and co. that this medium shouldn't be reduced to dollars and cents, and you're willing to pay for those perfect linear game experiences. I'm Andy Burkowski for VGS, and remember to bleed for your art.